In this video, I'm going to tell you all about an alternative to Pattern Keeper for Apple devices. Hi there, I'm Sarah with The Notorious Needle, and on this channel, we're all about empowering you to break the rules of conventional cross-stitch so you can make whatever you want. Pattern Keeper right now is only available for Android devices. So what are Apple users supposed to do? I use Knit Companion, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Just like Pattern Keeper, Knit Companion works with electronic files, so you don't have to worry about messing up on paper. And if you have a paper pattern, you can always scan it into a PDF and add it to Knit Companion. So I'm going to focus on the Apple version of Knit Companion, even though it is also available for Android users, because Pattern Keeper is not available for the iOS. First, I want to show you the free version of Knit Companion and how it compares to Pattern Keeper. First, go to the App Store and search for Knit Companion. There it is. Download it. Open it up, and this is the first screen you'll see. Click Done. And the first thing you'll notice is the three things at the top. Local refers to files on the device. Ravelry refers to files you have saved to your Ravelry account. And Dropbox gives you access to a cloud environment. On the side here, we have projects, PDFs, designs, upgrade, and setting. Projects is where we'll be working most of the time. PDFs is the default screen because this is where we download things. Designs, it takes you to Create to Thrive, which is the company that makes Knit Companion. Upgrade allows you to upgrade to the paid versions, which I'll show you some features later. And then Settings allows you to turn off the sleep setting on your Apple device, among a few other things. So I'm going to go ahead to PDFs. Also, I'm going to use this in landscape, which is how I prefer to read my patterns. But all of the features work in both landscape and portrait. This PDF comes with the app. I'm going to go ahead and download a PDF. You can download a PDF from Dropbox, link it to your Dropbox account. Click Allow. Now go to Dropbox and choose the file you want to download. I'm going to download my free pattern, We Are Made of Star Stuff. Here it is. This PDF, as you can see, is 13 pages. You can also download from other types of apps. On this device, I also have my Google Drive set up. And here's the PDF. If I click on the three dots in the top right-hand corner and I go to Open In, Knit Companion is one of the choices. It didn't even open in duplicate. If you want to delete a PDF, touch the three buttons and click the trash can. You can also make a copy, rename it, upload, or upload to Dropbox. I'm going to open this PDF. I want you to notice that Knit Companion didn't have any trouble opening this PDF, even though there's backstitch. Knit Companion will work with any type of specialty stitches, backstitch, fractional stitches, French knots, and even beads. Now, this is a PDF file. We have to create a project. Right now, all of the pages are chosen to be added to my project, but I don't need all of these pages. I'm going to go through and select the ones I want. I can click this checkbox and select all of them. I can click the X and deselect all of them. Or I can click this check mark and only select the page that I'm on. I'm going to go ahead and select all of them and deselect the pages I don't want. So I have pages 2 through 9 plus page 11. Click Start Project. You need to enter your name. Now, your name is important because later on when we sync across devices, your name has to be the same on all devices. I'm going to call this Star Stuff. And here's my project. Knit Companion guides you through. This is a slider. Oops. This yellow bar here is a highlighter. This blue bar. Probably didn't pick the best pattern to get the most contrast off of these markers. Right now we're in Knit, which is where we'll usually be. Edit and set up our paid features, and you'll get this little pop-up. I'll show you what they do a little bit later. You can go to any page in your project by touching the page at the top, at the header in the top. You can go to the original PDF by clicking on this little PDF symbol here. And when you exit out of it, it takes you back to the project. This button shows you the header, and this button shows you the footer. And you can hide them both and make your pattern bigger. This button toggles the toolbar at the top. You can turn that on and off. This button will rotate the page that you're on, but the other pages remain how they are. This is the scribble feature, which is also paid. I'll show you a little bit about that later. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see a marker. That is basically X marks the spot. You can put that marker anywhere to help you remember where you were in your pattern by tapping and holding until it beeps. There's the marker. In the footer, we have a quick key, which is also a paid feature. We have linked counters. That's for knitting. We have project information, which you can add notes. And that stays across the pages of your pattern. And then we have a project timer and a ruler. The timer starts when you're in Knit on the toolbar at the top. When you go to edit and set up, the timer is paused. And the ruler is just a useful feature that they added. You can use metal or wood ruler, imperial or metric measurements. These counters over here are for knitting and crochet. You probably won't use them much for cross stitch. In the project information, I like to add notes about floss conversions, what fabric I'm using, the date that I started. You can also add the date that you finished, and anything else I might like to keep about my pattern or my project. You can easily zoom in and out, just like any Apple device. And everything stays exactly where you left it when you close the pattern and reopen it, even when you fully close it. One of the differences between Knit Companion and Pattern Keeper is that you can use the free Knit Companion version forever. It does not give you all of the features like the trial version of Pattern Keeper, but you can keep using it and using it. I used it for months before I decided to purchase the upgrade. Pattern Keeper has a free trial. You can use every feature, but only for 30 days. So Pattern Keeper, as of this recording, costs about $9 and there's no subscription. Knit Companion costs about $10 a year for the second tier and $20 a year for the third tier. I'll link below to tell you what's included. I purchased the Setup and Essentials package, the third tier. I thought it was worth it, and I wanted to encourage the company to continue to make upgrades to the app. So that's the basics of Knit Companion when you're using it for cross stitch, but there's some really cool fun stuff that's available on the paid features. So one of the coolest things is that because you're on an Apple device, you can sync to other devices. What you need to do is in your settings, make sure that you go here, and you need to make sure that cloud is on, and you need to scroll down and turn it on for Knit Companion. Then inside Knit Companion, first I'm going to close out of my project. I'm going to go to Upgrade, and I'm going to Restore Purchase. That's it. Next, I'm going to go to Settings, and I'm going to choose, where is it? iCloud. choose yes. Now when I go back to projects, you can see that the other projects I have going on are highlighted. I can go to PDFs and it downloads all the PDFs that I have saved to the cloud. One of my favorite things about Knit Companion is that you can combine all of these pages into one file. This is part of the Setup and Essentials package because you have to go to the Setup menu. Now I have page 1 and page 2 combined, and I can do that for all of the pages so that page 10 becomes the full pattern. Another cool thing you can do is add the key at the bottom. Go to the key page in your PDF and hit quick key and hold it down. Now this page is visible from all the pages in your project, even the one I just created. So I can check the pattern key anytime I want, no matter what page I'm on. In Pattern Keeper, you have to add every color manually, but in Knit Companion, you can have the key at your fingertips instantly. While in Pattern Keeper, you can keep track of every individual stitch and the percentage completed as you mark them complete. Knit Companion can also keep track of each stitch, but it does not keep track of the percentage completed. Knit Companion does this through the use of markers. I'm going to create a marker for the yellow color. I'm going to mark it bright orange so it sticks out. Hit the magic button and it finds all of them. You can have it tell you what the count is for each row, which is what these numbers represent. Here I have it starting at 3. I usually like to keep it at 10. But for demonstration purposes, I'll keep it at 6. So any row that is 6 or more stitches will have a number on it. I'm going to call this, let's see, I think it's 445, and I'm going to call it yellow. And here I am in Knit. And it has all of the colors and the rows marked by number. You can also highlight your completed stitches by creating another marker. This time you create a custom marker. And I'm going to make it a dark gray, and I'm going to call it Done. Now I can mark each stitch as I stitch them. And in this way, I know I've done 6 stitches. And you can see this from the knit page as well. You can also keep track of where you park your threads in the same way. I'm going to call this Parked. And I'm going to make it green. Using Knit Companion this way is not as intuitive as it is in Pattern Keeper. So if you stitch a lot of full coverage pieces using the parking method, Pattern Keeper might work better for you, if those patterns will load into Pattern Keeper. Also, notice that the highlighter has changed it moved all the way down to the bottom by itself. This is because this page is now a chart. And when you convert the page and set it up to be a chart, you've aligned the grid and told Knit Companion where all the squares are. So now it counts the rows for you. You can also go back. Now, because this is primarily for knitting, knitting patterns count from the bottom up. It also has voice commands, which is pretty darn convenient, especially when your hands are full. Make sure Knit Companion has access to your microphone in privacy settings. Scribbles is another paid feature that can be very useful. It works very similar to how you might use it on iBooks. So if you've been using iBooks to access your PDFs, this will be very familiar to you. I'm going to choose green and I'm going to write a note. I'm going to circle the backstitch. You can undo that or erase it with the eraser. You can write notes on any page in your project, not just your PDF. I deleted the page with the backstitch key. So this is a note to myself to remember the backstitch. And now that appears on my key. Another feature for the paid version is that the highlighters are editable. You can change the color. You can change the width for each, vertically and horizontally. And one of the cool features is that you can invert the highlighter. So it highlights everything except the row that you're working on, which can really help direct your eye right to where you need to go. I've been using Knit Companion for a few months now for my cross-stitch projects. I don't even knit. My mother turned me onto it because she is also a knitter and she crochets, and she uses this for all of her stitching projects. I just fell in love with the free version, and now with the paid version, I have access to a lot more tools that will help me stitch faster, make fewer mistakes, and prevent me from getting lost in my pattern. If you want to learn more about how to use Knit Companion, both the free and the paid versions, I put some resources down below. You can check them out directly from the company, and links to a YouTube playlist for other tutorials, also for knitters. Stitch on!